This episode of Pushing Horizon Step by Step is brought to you by Never Second Europe. Science-backed fueling trusted by elite endurance athletes. Fuel smarter, go further. Hello everyone, welcome to the Pushing Horizon podcast. This is your host Ash. When I think about Emily's story, one thing jumps out. What happens when you just say yes to the opportunities? She didn't map this all out. She didn't even know she was going to become one of the best in the world at what she does. She simply kept saying yes. Yes to the running in the mountains. Yes to the showing up at a race in Cape Town. Yes when Scott handed her gear after finishing second. Yes to the chances that scared her and stressed her. And that's the lesson here. Saying yes doesn't mean you have figured it all out. It means you are willing to step into the unknown and trust yourself to figure it out along the way. And that's how a girl growing up on a farm in Zimbabwe ends up at a starting line of UTMB, competing against the best in the world. Emily's career proves it. One yes leads to another. Momentum builds. The door you didn't know existed start to open. And suddenly, the life you never imagined become the life you are living. And that's why I wanted her on this podcast. Because her story is a proof of what can happen if you stop waiting for perfect conditions and just say yes. And in that note, please let me introduce your guest today. Here is Emily. Hey Emily, thank you so much for this opportunity. And this has been one of the conversations I was looking to have with you. So yeah, thank you and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Yeah, excited to chat with you.
Um, you are pretty well known in the ultra running world, right? Because you're pretty famous in that. But for the folks who don't know a lot about you, can you please give a quick introduction about who you are?
Yeah, my name is Emily Hawgood. I am from Zimbabwe. I went over to America to go to college and am currently based there now too. My coaches are both over there and I love kind of the freedom and getting to be out in the mountains over there. I started my trail running career in 2017 and yeah, I love it. I remember calling my dad after my first trail race and saying, I think I found my sport.
And where did this love for running came for you? I don't know what your background is. So did you run before you started it as a professional career?
Yeah, so my mom ran when I was growing up, and from early age, like she would run in the evenings on the farm, or we'd go adventuring together, and with my brother and with my dad. And I think I grew. That's kind of where my passion for it grew. And then I went to boarding school at the age of 5 years old, just 90 minutes away from home, but kind of lived at school all week with my friends. And we had our day scheduled from 6 a.m. until 8 p.m. at night. And a part of that was very much sports, and we had to try everything and do everything. And I loved running kind of from that age. And I ran all the way through junior school, all the way through high school. And then managed to walk on to the college team too. And I actually did Ironman triathlons for a while. And then I wasn't really enjoying the bike. I liked the run and the swim part. And then I met my coach, and he said that he coached a few people to run in the mountains, and my heart kind of jumped at that opportunity. And I said, like, can I do that? And the rest is history.
So you have a history of running, right, from the young age. Looks like your mom inspired you to become this awesome runner right now. So throughout that journey, when was that point when you thought, okay, this is something I can do for a living? And when did that click for you?
I don't think it ever really clicked. I just kept saying yes to opportunities. So when I started working with my coach. My first trail race I ended up running was in Cape Town, South Africa, Australia, Cape Town, the 65K they used to have there. And my coach knew the manager of Scott. And so the manager was kind of watching the race closely, and he was like, "Hey, is Emily sponsored or anything?" And my coach said no. I managed to finish second, and kind of from there, they started giving me gear, and I started running for them. And then it kind of bloomed from there. And I never really realized it was happening. I think for the longest time, I just kept getting excited about the opportunities and saying yes and jumping in races, and kind of built maybe my portfolio from there and turned my passion into my job.
And looking back, right? So how did it feel? Because you obviously did a lot of races growing up, as you just mentioned. So how is that feeling from the early age when you were running and doing these distances? How did that feel, the finish line? And is that still the same, the feeling that you get when you cross the line from the early age to now? Has that changed? Has that dimmed a little bit, or the fight is still there?
From the early days, like 2017 when I started,
No, from
or
your
before that.
childhood, yeah, before that, because you've been running for a long time.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think growing up, like when you're learning about competition and stuff, it was a little different, maybe not for everyone, but for me, I think I would get really nervous and it's kind of maybe intimidated by competition and didn't find as much joy in it as much as I loved running, actually running, but doing the races was not my favorite part. But then kind of maybe having not the break from it, but especially going to college and really discovering that it's like something I really love. Like I would do it if even I wasn't a professional, and getting to carry that feeling into every race and everything has made the finish lines like so much more special. And so, yeah, and I love it. So I think I love it more than I did when I was little.
And has that feeling changed of that fear? Because early on, you used to fear somebody, but now you are that person that everybody fears when you are towing up the line. So has that feeling changed, or is it still the same?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I ever feared anyone. I think it was my own fear of like, I don't even know. It's not like I ran super far when I was little, so I wasn't gonna, blow up or something. Like I think maybe the longest race we ran in high school and stuff was 5K. I think you just get nervous about the competition and maybe that learning like what expectation is and how to put pressure on yourself or not put pressure on yourself. So maybe the beginning days were all like my learning days. And since then, I've taken kind of the stuff I learned at that stage and realized what's healthy, what's not healthy. And so going out into competition now, I think I'm way more comfortable to say, or like, yes, excited to push myself. And I have a really good like mindset into what that means, and still keeping like not scared of other people, but maybe excited about the opportunity to compete with other people and be pushed to do my best.
Are you still, or were you competitive when you were growing up? Like, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I never did football when I was young. I played sports, but I was not into running. It
Yeah.
came way late in my life. So you have been competitive from the early on when you started, and has that been growing up because now you tour with the best in the world?
Yeah. Yeah. I've always been kind of competitive. I don't think I won a race for a super long time. um, but I loved, like, my team did really well. I loved being part of a team, and we run races together as the team, that side of it. So yeah, always been competitive on the running side of things.
And going back to your journey, right? So you grew up in Zimbabwe, and like you said, your mom was a runner, so obviously that had a huge impact on you because you've been running since your childhood. But did growing up in Zimbabwe like shaped your relationship with the running and the outdoors for you?
Yeah, for sure. Growing up on the farm, I mean, it was really nice. We had a safe space to go run. And even as kids, like the only thing we have to do, my mom always had a rule. We had a whiteboard and we always had to write where we were going. Like if we left the house, and we had a big farm and we rode our bikes a ton and we took the dogs out, and it definitely grew my love for adventure and being outside, and definitely for what I do today.
And in this transition, right, from Zimbabwe, you moved all the way across the other continent in the US, and you've been competing, right, in the world stages against the US athlete as well as Europe and rest of the world. So, what has been this transition for you? Like from the early days when you were running back in the farm, and then you got into some competition there, and now you're doing all these incredible things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's changed too much. Like, sure, we're all from different parts of the world stepping up to the line, not from the same country or the same school or anything, kind of where the competition started. But I still feel, as excited to just line up with people with the same passion from all around the world and to push ourselves to do our best. And I love it, getting to meet new people. And yeah, it doesn't matter where in the world you are. It's kind of nice when you have the same hobbies and passions with people, you make an instant connection with them.
Yes, definitely. I think that's one thing so common and so easy to talk to as well, because we're just talking and it seems like, oh, okay, I can understand and relate to the things you'd say and things like that. So I think the connection is definitely, if there is like-minded people, then the bond is faster than the people. If I go outside and if I talk with somebody and if we don't have same interest, then it's so awkward and hard to make any conversations.
Yeah.
And as you came from Zimbabwe, right? And your journey into this world of ultra running isn't like a typical pipeline that we see
Mhm.
in sports and stuff like that, right? So, how much of that perspective, because you, or how would I say, how much of that outsider perspective do you carry with you on the start line?
I mean, yeah, I think, I grew up in a small third world country on one side of the planet, and I maybe had some independence, growing up, because going to school, going to boarding school at a young age, like I learned how to do things on my own. I learned how to make friends really easily because you're living away from home too, so don't have the comfort there. I have always loved to travel. My family loved traveling when we were growing up, so that was really fun and makes it easier to travel now. Catching trains and figuring out direction, changing money, and just traveling the world. Like I think that's what I still carry with me today.
When you think of running, right, you obviously lived in Zimbabwe, grew up there before moving to US. So have you ever feel like running is a way of holding on to home because that's so familiar to you since your early childhood that you have been doing? Or has it become more of a path of becoming someone entirely new because now you are this entirely different person than how you're growing up?
Yeah, I mean, I think I loved where I grew up. I love my family. I love home. I love Zimbabwe. I think professionally, it was kind of time for me to leave and spread my wings when I did leave. Um, but I never left any of that behind. My family still lives there. I still, visit home every year. I'm still very much Zimbabwean, but I've definitely, said yes to opportunities, and I love America. I love being able to explore the world in general. I love my new community or my extended community now. I love that, like social media and stuff. I never really feel too far away from anywhere I've been, which is cool. And so that, yeah, I'm the same, but I'm also growing up. So
Yes, definitely. And you have had growth and with each performance that you go and do on these epic races, each time you've been going up and up and up, and you have had multiple top 10s at like Western States and very strong runs at the UTMB. So looking back until now in your journey, right? So what has been the performance you are very proud of, and for what reasons?
Yeah, I've had a lot of performances I'm proud of. Like my first 100 miler was actually the I'm Tough Idaho Mountain Ultra Trail in Idaho in 2020, and it was probably one of the proudest races I've had. My first 100 miler in the mountains. We had a great community of people because we'd just come out of COVID, so everyone was really excited to finally get the chance to race. Had a lot of friends and still friends today competing in the race. So it's just like a really, really fun race. And that's where maybe I had the most joy out there for that race, even though I was learning a lot and how much 100 miles takes out of you or sends you into highs and lows, all of that. And then this year, to my race at Canyons 100K in Auburn, California, I'm really proud of because I think I had that same mentality. Like, we're throwing some unique weather with rain and snow and cool attempts when we maybe expected heat. And I managed to, like compete with the best in the world and, managed to sneak in my win and maybe dig deep to make that happen mentally, emotionally, physically too. And so I'm really proud of that and carry that with me too.
You just mentioned, right? So this mentally, physically,
Mm-hmm.
it's harder. Like doing 100 mile race is very hard. And you just mentioned the first race that you did. I'm sure it would have been the experience now, and then the experience there being your first one that you did. What went through your head in that particular race, if you remember, like when you were going into that final 20 miles of the 100 miler, and when things did went um, at that low moment, like did you had any tools back then compared to now?
Yeah, compared to now, no. I think it was nice. Like, you learned what you did have, like maybe, my ability to fix things, even though I, at that first 100 miler sometimes didn't know how, which now if I race, like, there's a lot more tools in my tool basket or toolbox, and I can fix things better or differently. I'm also way more in tune with my body now, so sometimes I notice things being off a little easier sometimes. So you can either, that can be good or bad. Like, you change things around early and then don't get into such a big low later on, or you realize it and have to focus on not thinking about it for a long time. Yeah, I think it's such a unique journey. It's definitely a journey. Like, you pick up, tools and friends and um, ways to do things and training abilities and strengthen the legs and um, tools to help you get to the finish line hopefully faster and stronger than you ever have before.
And if you can remember back, right? So the first 100 miler you did, how's that feeling like when you crossed the line? Was it like, oh my God, thank God it's over? Or you're like, okay, I can't wait to do the next one?
I can't really remember. It did end up being a long 100 miler. Ended up being 107 miles. So having the extra mileage on the end was definitely a challenge when I was out there. And so I did think I felt the biggest sense of relief when I got to the finish line and completed it, especially because I know I'd completed 100 miles, 7 miles before that.
And how is the feeling now? So, like, I know you have done so many races now. Um, Once you finish the races, like, how do you de deaccelerate, or how you take it? Like, do you actually look at the results, how you did, or you just gonna like go, just don't care about the result right now, and you're gonna think about whatever happened in the race XYZ later on when you have more time and you come down from everything?
No, I don't think. I think you think about it all the way during the race too. obviously there's lots of different parts now that I know more, that I race professionally more, that I have more experience, those sort of things. At the finish line, you're really excited to be there. Kind of doesn't really matter how the day's been. I think a finish line is no greater feeling than getting to the finish line and trying to just soak in that energy and be very present. Be very present for the people that have put aside time to help you get there and celebrate with them. So yeah, maybe in that sense, you do kind of, you get 1K from the finish line, and all you can think about is the finish line and sharing that time with those people. And then you can come back to the race later on.
And now, thinking back, right? So, in your all the 100 miles that you've done, which race do you feel like when you cross the line, you felt like, oh man, I have so much more. I think I could have given more on it.
I think there's been a couple of that. At Western States, so my last race, I had a little bit of that because I screwed up some electrolytes the week before, not even during the race. And so I was fixing things from mile point nothing off the start line. So definitely can get to the finish line and be like, dang it. Like if I'd come in a little a little differently, maybe could have had, I do have a lot more to give out there. But then also excited to get to the finish line and have that opportunity to come back.
And looking back, right? So you have done so many races from 50 kilometers to 100 distance, right? 100 miles. So in your opinion, what is that sweet spot for you?
Yeah, every race is so different. 50Ks is super fun. They hurt a lot more during, but then you recover quicker. They're fun because like getting nutrition and stuff, like you don't have a ton of time to fix things that go wrong, which maybe I like more is having the time to fix things, but also sometimes it's nice that you can just deal with it for 5 hours and yeah, and then be done with it. Whereas in a 100-miler, you can have to deal with something for 16 hours, or 18 hours, or 20 hours. And that can be a lot too. I love the endurance. I love the speed. I love the mountains. I love the flatter races. I don't really have a perfect race anymore, which is kind of nice. Like, I think if you'd asked me that question a few years ago, I maybe would have had a specific answer. Like, I like the mountains. I like the longer stuff because I like being able to tap into my strength of endurance. But now I feel like I've managed to work on maybe my weaknesses from back then to really be able to say I love all the distances on all the different terrains.
And you just talked about right side. You said, I love all the distances, but the suffering is so much different stuff, all of it, right? Like you said, the 50 might be too fast, where you have to push a lot because it's sort of distance for you as compared to the 100-miler where it's more suffering compared to the 50-miler. So how do you hold on to that joy? Because for me, it is a lot of suffering when you are racing this kind of races. So what's that joy for you?
I mean, I'm hoping that, and I have found that it's a lot less suffering when you've prepared right for it. And so it doesn't really matter what race you step up to. If you've prepared in the right way, you can still find joy out there. And you've prepared your body for when it does get tough. Okay, in a 100-mile race, when your energy's really low, things like that. Yeah, I think really being focused on like being in the present moment. We get to choose to do this. Our bodies are amazing that they make that happen. We're in God's creation. It's so beautiful. Even at night, like just kind of the magic of running through the night in the mountains. We are surrounded by incredible people racing the race too. And how many incredible connections we've made with that and how, the people around us have become our family. So all those sort of things really make it possible to stay very positive.
And right, so when you are so competitive and towing lines against so many other great athletes, I know each race is different, but and I'm sure like you when you went to a race, then you probably have some goals in mind, right? So I wanna do this, I wanna finish a podium, or I'm gonna finish top five or something like that. So when you set a goal for a race and then if you are not able to achieve it, how do you handle that kind of situation? Are you like, okay, I'm gonna try it next time? So how do you reset yourself?
Firstly, like I try and do a lot more process goals. Yes, having the big goal at the finish line is great, but we line up with the best in the world every day. And so having those goals can really, I think they would just drain you if that was all you had. So having lots of little process goals, things you can control, things you can't control, those sort of things, and seeing how those turn out right or how better you can do them next time, those sort of things are what keeps me kind of charging forward to the next competition.
And have you had any injuries so far? And and when you have a bad race, how do you recover from it?
Yeah. So injuries in college, I had my touch wood only major injury, and I caught a nerve in my hips. I like put my hips out, caught a nerve, and couldn't walk very well for a long time. So that's always hard when you're a runner because then it was hard to run. But since then, it's been my motivation to stay on top of my strength and my mobility and my daily stuff to hopefully make sure I never get back in that situation. Um, and yeah, when I have a bad race, I think, like I said, my last response is just focusing on all the things you did right because you're never going to have a day where you just do everything completely wrong.
And are you training for UTMB right now? Or
I am. Mm-hmm.
so it's it's coming soon, right? So how is your training looking for that?
Yeah, I mean, it's done. I'm on to taper now, which is really fun and kind of exciting to have filled the bank and um, just be getting excited for next week.
Any particular goals that you have that now you're heading into this taper and ready for this race?
Yeah, I think again, like as a professional athlete, there's lots of like scales to keep in check. And so, especially this week going in to taper and race week, I just want to keep all those scales balanced and get lots of sleep, eat really well, stay hydrated, really enjoy time with all my friends and my teammates, who's my family. And I actually have my mom and dad coming here tomorrow, so I'm excited to see them. My coach gets here on Monday. My friend from Switzerland, who comes out every year to help crew me, is coming on Thursday. So all exciting things ahead. Yeah, excited to share the journey with them.
Ultra running is like such a difficult sport. Right? Running in general is a difficult sport, and when you are running such a bigger distances, right? And it strips everything from us. So it shows
Mm-hmm.
the good side, bad side. What has been that one thing that learning has shown about yourself?
That's a really good question. I mean, I think everyone does a hard, all sports are hard, all things in life are hard. And you get to be a really small person in a really big world when you do get all of that stripped away. So mid race for a 100-mile runner or, the back end of the 100 miles. And um, I think, I really find myself like caring a lot about people and things that happen and all of that. Like if my family's having a hard time, that's really where my mind goes. And in a positive way, that's like a really special thing to know that that's where what I'm thinking about and where my heart is at, even when I'm out there, like doing this incredible sport. And that's been really special for me to learn about myself. And obviously having my parents get to come to my races has been amazing because then a part of my heart is right there in person.
Um, and do you have some like stuff when you are running? Like so many, I've talked with so many people, and they have these mental cues that they take on with them, right? So I talked to a few
Yeah.
folks. They said if they're struggling, the checklist is like, "Am I dead?" And the
Mhm.
answer is,
Yeah.
"You're not dead." Uh, so do you have something like that when you are going through phases during a race?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I have a lot of different ones. I probably couldn't even name them all right now. They kind of come up as we go, but a lot of mine is like it's kind of my connection time with God out there. And I feel like I talk to him a lot. So in a low, in a high, those sort of things. I really like, I can find myself in a slump, like complaining about how I'm feeling or whatever to myself. And then suddenly I'm reminded like, hey, God's right there. Just talk to him. And it kind of turns my mindset around.
And so far in your career, right, you have done so many races. Has there been a moment where you had this low moment while you were racing, and then all of a sudden it just all of this that's good away, and then you went on crossing the race?
Yeah, lots of times. You go through highs and lows all the time, and you go through a lot of them in a 100-mile distance or 100K.
So now when you look at yourself, right? So you are from Zimbabwe, and you are a role model for a lot of athletes in the sports, not just for Zimbabwe and Africa, but the whole world. So do you feel that you have responsibilities in some ways?
The only thing I have responsibility for is to show up, do my best, um, you know, be un, I don't know, just be bold and like being joyful and being who I am, I think. And I'm hoping that that's what inspires people as they watch me.
And like you said, like you have eyes from so many people. So has there, or how do you take the criticism? Because once you're famous, right, there is a lot of comments that are unnecessary because they don't know what you're going through, how your
Hmm.
mindset was when you're running through and stuff like that. So how do you deal with all of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been lucky enough that I found our community to be really supportive in most areas. Like, yes, we're a professional sport, we're still in that stage of growing, and most people are just really excited and amazed and, want to be supporting you. It's a very loving community out there, which is really, really special. But of course, yeah, comments come. And I think too, like, just realizing that people will complain about anything and will also celebrate anything. So it's kind of your mindset and how you respond to it. A lot of people that will say unnecessary things to you don't know about, and like you probably will never see them again, so it doesn't matter. And also they don't know your journey. So really just staying true to who you are and what you love and where you find your joy and the best example you can be, and respecting everybody, respecting the people around you. I think it's all just really important things to hold. And when you do love and respect everyone around you, you tend to get less like unnecessary comments. I think most people want to support you to do your best.
Yep, definitely. I think I'm from a marathon background, right? So
Mm.
and I've been new into this ultra running community, and I've talked to so many ultra runners with the podcast, and everybody's so cool and chill and nice. And it does, I think the vibe is so much nicer, and they are really
Yeah.
supportive too. So I do feel that. And
Cool.
as you just said, right? So a lot of people don't see what you go through and what happens. What's that something that you think people don't see what's going in your life when you are going and doing these elite races from outside?
Yeah, when I got your questions yesterday, I definitely spent some time thinking about this one. And I think the biggest thing is that maybe my comment earlier of just the fact that elite athletes are balancing a lot of different scales at the same time. And even runners, people. I think we're all just people, and this is what it boils down to. Everyone's balancing a lot of different scales. A lot of them people don't share on social media, you don't know about. And that's my biggest thing that I hope everyone kind of remembers for everyone else too. Like, it's a really, there's a lot in life everyone has to balance.
True. Yeah, I had a conversation with Lucy ultimately, and she said, if you don't have anything nice to say to me, then don't say anything. I think that,
Yeah.
that is what I liked from that conversation.
Yeah.
She said with the similar kind of topic.
Cool.
And as you are growing in this ultra running world, right? And you're very recognizable. And if somebody is looking at your career, let's say especially from Zimbabwe, because you are in a world stage in the ultra running community, what do you want all the young athletes to learn from you?
I think to not be afraid to say yes to opportunities. I feel very blessed to have the opportunity, to be from a small town and a farm girl in Zimbabwe, Africa. When you do get an opportunity or you do have a dream and it calls you to be uncomfortable or say yes to opportunities that maybe take you out of your comfort zone, or like, you don't know how saying yes to one thing can get you to maybe having your dream happen, like coming over to college. Like, I didn't have a spot on a college team or anything like that, but managed to walk onto the team and then managed to randomly meet my coach. So just like saying yes to the opportunities that could make your dream come true.
Yes, I think that's one of the things. Always say yes.
Yeah.
You never know what comes in life, so always be prepared to take that jump and and see where it takes you. I think that's most important, that we should say no to the opportunities. And let's say, right, so if given chance to you, right, so hey, Emily, you can have your dream race in any location, any distance, any terrains that you can have. What would that look like for you?
Oh, it's a really good question.
I don't like hills.
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, I do like the warm weather, so maybe like it would be cool if you, I know this is wild, but it would be cool if you had like the biggest mountains like in Africa and you could run over them, but have the like safety and security of being able to like have the freedom over there too. And then have a race organized there and have my friends and my community be able to come and see where I'm from.
Yeah, that would be nice. And as you are in this community, right, in this ultra running world, what's one thing that you have learned, or one belief that you have unlearned about success or sports and yourself since you have been engaged in this world?
I think that there's more to success than maybe the definition of success being like getting a podium. I've seen like in the sport, like how brands and people and companies and the sport even really values the human and not just your results. And I think that's been my biggest lesson and kind of what I've tried to stand on and show to, that the human is way more important than what they can just do on a start line or finish line.
And do you carry anything with you when you are running that has totally nothing to do with running?
Yeah, have I? Yeah, I mean, it's who I am, but it's my passion. It's not like I don't have to do it to be me. Um, I just like really want to carry that joy and love and the blessing of being able to do something I love with the people I love, um, with me all the time. Um, yeah.
And let's say, right, so if we strip away all the running thing that you have done in your life and
Yeah.
take it away, what would Emily be?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be me. There wouldn't be much different. Sure, I wouldn't go do the crazy thing of running in the mountains, but I'd probably find something else crazy to do. Like my dad always said, if I didn't become a professional athlete, I'd probably play in a symphony orchestra somewhere or something. I play the violin, so that's what he was convinced I would do if I wasn't a professional athlete. So who knows? I mean, I love what I get to do, but I think I would still be the same person, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I think symphony is badass too.
Thank you.
When you are not training or racing, where do you find your happiness out of running?
I have a cat. Her name is Ochi. I found her 4 years ago now. 4 years ago. Yeah. And she has a little bobtail. You have to amputate it. She got attached to someone. So I love spending time with her. And I also love like gardening and stuff. So you'll find me outside a lot. I like reading. I like swimming. I like going adventuring. Out to lakes. I have a van, so that's kind of fun to go exploring and discover new places and then just get to sleep in my van. And I take Ochi with me.
Yeah, Ben is nice. And cat is too, I think.
Okay.
If fear wasn't a factor, right? So what risk would you take next in your racing career or in your life?
Fear wasn't a factor. Like, what would I do?
Yeah.
I think I would do exactly what I'm doing, which is kind of cool. Like, even though maybe there is some fear in something, so maybe, yeah, stepping up to the start line at UTMB this year can always carry its like fear with this excitement, but I would still do it.
In your career so far, I know there are so many races that you have not done yet, right? So
Yeah.
is there any races that you look at and think, oh yeah, that would be very interesting to do?
Yeah, I really want to do Hard Rock one year. So that's high on my list. And then there's a bunch of like multi-day races that would be amazing to do. Go to like the Nepal area, Bhutan, go to Costa Rica, there's so many cool races. I think there's one in Alaska I'm really excited about. In Greece, I have an athlete going to go race at the end of September, I think. So that's really exciting. Yeah, so there's so many races on my bucket list.
So if you had this opportunity to pick one race out of them, which you can do right tomorrow, so what would that be?
Hard Rock would be top of my list, probably.
Okay. And imagine you are at the end of your career, right? And you are looking back, and what story about Emily do you want people to tell?
I really want them to say or tell the story about how maybe I shared a mile with them or shared some time with them, had a conversation, just shared life with them.
And these are few questions that I ask a lot of people. Like it's like same questions for all. So one of the questions goes like this. It says, "Why do you run?"
It's my passion. So it makes me feel alive.
Now there are a bunch of rapid fire questions that I'm gonna ask you. So it's just random questions, and you can just give me whatever things had you in your mind. So, trails or road?
Trails.
Western States or UTMB?
Western States.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
One piece of gear you can't live without. Poles? I don't know.
Yeah, because I run a lot with football. Probably my shorts. They got all the pockets. They're all comfy.
Coffee before the run? Yes or no?
I know.
Long solo run or a group run?
Long solo run.
Hardest climb you have ever faced?
And I am tough. That first race, that first 100-miler I did, I forgot to take nutrition with me, so I had 12 miles and 3,000 feet of vert with 3 baby potatoes.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 things left. One word your friends would use to describe you.
Present.
Okay, and this is the final question. I would like you to finish this sentence for me. Running has changed my life because...
I wouldn't have met the people I've met or traveled to the places I've traveled without it.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for your time. I mean, this was such a nice conversation, and it was so nice to talk to you and get to know you more about you and your mindset. And yeah, and thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for making the time for me.
No worries, yeah, thank you. And then good luck at UTMB. So I'll be keeping my eyes on you, and there are a few people I need to look at. So how you do. So good luck and smash it.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Hey everyone, thank you for making it to the end of the podcast. I hope you really enjoy this conversation. I'll see you again next time with another guest. Until then, happy running.